In the realm of mortals, there lived a princess named Psyche. Her beauty was unlike any other. It was so radiant, so captivating, that it surpassed even the splendor of the goddess Aphrodite herself. People would travel from distant lands just to catch a glimpse of her. They would lay offerings at her feet, their hearts stolen by her ethereal grace.
Though humbled by the adoration, I felt a strange loneliness in my heart.
Her beauty, while a blessing, became a curse. Men, overwhelmed by her presence, were unable to approach her with love. They could only admire her from afar, their hearts filled with longing, but their voices silenced by her magnificence. Psyche, yearning for a love that went beyond mere adoration, found herself more and more isolated with each passing day. Her heart yearned for a connection that her beauty seemed to impede. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, watched Psyche with growing envy. How dare a mere mortal rival her own divine radiance? Aphrodite's heart seethed with jealousy, and she vowed to make Psyche pay for her unwitting transgression. The goddess, accustomed to being the sole object of admiration, could not bear the thought of a mortal surpassing her. Determined to punish Psyche, Aphrodite summoned her son, Eros.
Eros, my son, I have a task for you. This mortal girl, Psyche, must be taught a lesson.
Eros, the god of love, was as mischievous as he was powerful. His arrows, tipped with golden points, could ignite love in even the coldest of hearts. Aphrodite, consumed by her rage, devised a cruel plan to humiliate Psyche and strip her of her allure. The world, it seemed, held its breath. In that single, fleeting moment, the course of destiny shifted. Eros, the god of love, felt an unfamiliar sensation course through him. It was not the mischievous glee he usually felt when orchestrating a love match. Nor was it the cold satisfaction of fulfilling his mother's vengeful desires. It was something far more profound, something that resonated deep within his immortal soul.
What is this feeling? It's different.
Psyche's tear. A single teardrop carrying the weight of her loneliness had mingled with Eros's divine blood. This unforeseen fusion of mortal longing and immortal power created a connection, an invisible thread that bound the two together in a way neither could have anticipated. Eros, instead of fulfilling his mother's cruel command, found himself inexplicably drawn to Psyche. He couldn't bear the thought of her falling in love with a monstrous creature. The image, once a source of wicked amusement, now filled him with a profound sense of unease.
I cannot do this. I cannot condemn her to such a fate.
He, the orchestrator of countless love affairs, was now caught in a web of his own making. He was in love with Psyche, the mortal girl he was supposed to curse. He couldn't, however, reveal his true identity to her. The consequences, he knew, would be disastrous, so he devised a plan, a way to keep her safe from his mother's wrath and perhaps win her love in secret.
I will create a sanctuary for her, a place where she can be safe and loved.
He would use his powers to orchestrate a series of events, leading Psyche to a secluded palace where he could visit her, albeit in disguise. Meanwhile, Psyche's parents, guided by the oracle's ambiguous prophecy, prepared to send their daughter to the ominous mountaintop. The prophecy had spoken of a creature of darkness, and they, interpreting it literally, believed they were sending their beloved daughter to her doom. The kingdom mourned, their hearts heavy with a grief they couldn't articulate.
Farewell, my family. I go now to meet my fate.
Psyche, adorned in funeral attire, bid farewell to her family, her heart filled with a sense of foreboding. Guided by the whispers of the west wind, Zephyrus, Psyche was carried away from the desolate mountaintop and towards a hidden valley.
Fear not, Psyche, I will take you to a place of beauty and safety.
There, nestled amidst lush greenery and cascading waterfalls, stood a magnificent palace. It was an architectural marvel, its walls adorned with intricate carvings and its halls filled with treasures beyond imagination. This, Eros had decided, would be Psyche's sanctuary, a place where he could love her without revealing his true identity. The palace, while breathtaking in its beauty, felt strangely empty.
Though surrounded by luxury, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. I was alone, cut off from my family and friends, with only whispers of the wind and the rustling of leaves for company.
Yet as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the manicured gardens, she felt a presence, a warmth that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the palace itself.
Each night, as darkness enveloped the palace, I would find myself drawn to a particular room. It was a room unlike any other, filled with an ethereal glow that seemed to pulsate with an unseen energy.
And it was there, in the hushed silence of twilight, that she would meet him, a voice, soft and melodious, that spoke to her from the shadows. He never revealed his name, nor did he ever show his face. He was a mystery, an enigma, shrouded in darkness.
Yet his voice held a strange allure, a comforting warmth that soothed my loneliness. He spoke to me of love, of longing, of a connection that transcended the physical realm.
His words wove a tapestry of emotions, igniting a spark of hope in Psyche's heart. Night after night they would talk, their conversations spanning a myriad of topics, from the mundane to the profound.
He seemed to know my every thought, every unspoken desire. He challenged me, comforted me, and made me laugh. He was everything I had ever desired in a companion, yet I knew nothing about him.
The mystery, far from pushing her away, drew her in further. She found herself falling in love with a voice, a presence, a phantom who visited her only in the darkness. Psyche's days were spent exploring the opulent palace and its sprawling gardens. Unseen servants catered to her every whim, their voices as intangible as the wind.
I dined on delicacies I could barely name, my meals appearing as if by magic. The palace, for all its grandeur, felt like an elaborate cage, a gilded prison that kept me both safe and isolated.
Night, however, brought a different kind of enchantment. As darkness descended, so too did the anticipation of her mysterious lover's arrival.
Our nightly encounters became the highlight of my existence, the one constant in my topsy-turvy world. I found myself falling deeper into the throes of love, a love fueled by whispered promises and stolen moments in the dark.
Still, the lack of knowledge about her lover gnawed at her. Who was this enigmatic being who brought her such joy yet remained hidden from view?
The more I learned about his character, the more the mystery intrigued me. Was he a god, a spirit, a creature of the night?
The questions swirled in her mind, threatening to consume her with their persistence.
One night, emboldened by my love for him, I decided to broach the subject of his identity. As he spoke of his longing for me, I gently placed my hand over his, my touch sending a jolt through both of us.
She poured out her heart to him, confessing her love, her confusion, her desperate need to know who he truly was.
My voice, trembling with a mix of fear and adoration, hung in the air between us.
Silence met her confession, a silence that stretched on, heavy with unspoken truths and the weight of her request. The silence from her lover cut Psyche deeply. She had bared her soul to him, expressing her love and her longing to know him fully. His lack of response felt like a betrayal, a confirmation of her deepest fears.
Had I been foolish to trust a voice in the dark? Was my love unrequited?
Doubt, like a venomous serpent, coiled itself around her heart, squeezing out the joy that had blossomed within her. Days turned into weeks, and still her lover refused to reveal himself. He continued to visit her each night, his voice filled with the same tenderness she had come to cherish. Yet there was a distance between them now, an invisible barrier erected by his silence and her own wounded heart.
I miss my sisters, their laughter, their shared secrets. I long for my parents' embrace, their reassuring words.
Psyche, torn between her love for him and the growing suspicion that he harbored a dark secret, found herself yearning for the comfort of her family. She had been so caught up in the whirlwind of her own strange fate that she had forgotten the simple joys of familial bonds. The isolation of the palace, once a bearable consequence of her love, now felt like an unbearable burden. Sensing her despair, her lover finally agreed to grant her one wish. He would ask Zephyrus, the west wind, to bring her sisters to the palace. Psyche was overjoyed, perhaps. She thought seeing her family would ease the ache in her heart. Maybe they could offer her the advice and support she desperately craved, or perhaps they could shed some light on the mystery that surrounded her lover. Hope, like a fragile butterfly, fluttered within her once more. The reunion was bittersweet. Psyche's sisters, upon seeing her opulent surroundings and hearing of her mysterious, wealthy lover, were consumed by envy. They bombarded her with questions, their words laced with a thinly veiled jealousy.
Why can't I see my lover's face? Why does he only visit me at night?
Their doubts and suspicions, fueled by their own selfish desires, began to sow seeds of uncertainty in Psyche's heart. One night, unable to bear the weight of their doubts any longer, Psyche's sisters convinced her to uncover the truth about her lover. They gave her a lamp and a dagger, urging her to sneak a peek at him while he slept.
They filled her head with tales of monstrous creatures disguised as handsome suitors, preying on her fears and insecurities.
Driven by a toxic cocktail of love, doubt, and fear, Psyche agreed. That night, as her lover lay sleeping beside her, his face obscured by shadows, Psyche's resolve crumbled. Trembling, she lit the oil lamp and held it above her lover's face. And there, bathed in the soft glow of the lamplight, lay Eros, the god of love himself. He was even more beautiful than she could have imagined. As Psyche gazed at him, awestruck by his beauty, a drop of hot oil fell from the lamp. Landing on Eros's shoulder, he stirred, his eyes fluttering open, reflecting a mixture of pain and betrayal.
I warned you about the dangers of curiosity, of letting doubt cloud your judgment. I entrusted you with my heart, my very essence, and you betrayed me.
He looked at Psyche, his gaze piercing her heart, and in that moment she knew she had made a terrible mistake. Eros, betrayed and heartbroken, vanished into the night, leaving Psyche alone in her guilt and despair. She had lost everything: her lover, her home, her sense of self. The palace, once a symbol of her love, now felt like a tomb, a constant reminder of her folly. Desperate to right her wrong, Psyche set out on a perilous journey to win back Eros's love. Her journey led her across treacherous mountains and raging rivers, each step a testament to her unwavering devotion. She faced insurmountable challenges, each more daunting than the last. Yet she persevered, driven by the hope of redemption and the burning desire to reunite with her lost love. Her quest for forgiveness led her to Aphrodite's doorstep. The goddess, still harboring resentment towards Psyche, saw an opportunity for revenge. She devised a series of seemingly impossible tasks, each designed to break Psyche's spirit and punish her for daring to love a god.
Sort these grains, fetch golden fleece, and descend into the underworld to retrieve a box of Persephone's beauty.
Yet, Psyche faced each challenge with unwavering determination. Throughout her trials, Psyche was aided by various creatures and deities who recognized the purity of her love and the sincerity of her remorse. They saw in her a reflection of true devotion, a love that transcended the boundaries of the mortal and the divine. And so they offered her assistance, their actions a testament to the power of her unwavering love. Word of Psyche's unwavering devotion reached Eros, who, despite his wounded heart, had never stopped loving her. He was moved by her sacrifices, her willingness to face any challenge to prove her love.
I can't bear to be apart from her any longer.
Realizing that he couldn't bear to be apart from her any longer, Eros defied his mother and pleaded with Zeus, the king of the gods, to intervene. Zeus, recognizing the depth of their love and the unfairness of Aphrodite's wrath, intervened. He summoned Psyche to Mount Olympus, where, in the presence of all the gods, he granted her immortality. Psyche, now a goddess herself, was finally reunited with Eros. Their love, tested by fire and strengthened through adversity, shone brighter than ever. Aphrodite, witnessing the depth of their love and the blessings bestowed upon them by Zeus, finally relented. She set aside her jealousy and offered her blessing to the couple.
I offer my blessing to you both.
A grand feast was held in their honor, a celebration of love's triumph over adversity. Psyche, once a mortal girl who dared to love a god, took her rightful place amongst the immortals, her story forever etched in the stars as a testament to the enduring power of love. And so the tale of Eros and Psyche became a legend, passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that love, in its purest form, knows no bounds. It can conquer any obstacle, heal any wound, and elevate even the most ordinary of mortals to the realm of the divine. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.